Grab your popcorn, we're going to the movies next year. Yes, it's Sega News Bits with me, Barry, and George.
Hello, everybody.
And we are so damn excited for the new reveal of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Yes, November 8th, What?
It's the Sonic universe because there's going to be more movies after this. It's like a Marvel movie.
Oh, God, no, wait, no. We're not excited for this. So, okay, what happened? IGN revealed the Sonic the Hedgehog movie motion poster. And let's just walk you through the motion poster. So you see a blue blur. It looks a lot like the Sonic 4 teaser trailers. He gobbles up some rings, and it does not sound like the ring sound that you hear in the games. And then Sonic stops, and there's lightning. I don't know why there's lightning. I guess this is because it's the Flash. And he looks... George, what does he look like?
He looks like a really buffed version of himself, right?
He's got... I don't think he has gloves or socks. He's got human legs and arms. He's got a very, animal face. His eyes, popping out of the side. You can see that. He's hairy. He's not spiny. He's got shoes that look nothing like his shoes.
Yeah. Basically, any tie to old classic cartoons that the original design was based off, they took this all out. They're like, nah, we don't need all this classic Mickey crap. We give it a human body.
Right, of course. And so this, it's from the producer of the Fast and the Furious, is a whole new speed of hero. And oh dear God. So IGN revealed this. They had a short interview or some comments from the production team, and it is something else. They said, so let me just read it here. The most challenging part of Sonic's updated design isn't revealed in this teaser. His eyes. The filmmakers struggled with how best to depict Sonic's eyes because he was only seen with one. I mean, he had two eyes. I don't know what anyway. And that wouldn't translate well to live action. They said, I don't think Sega was entirely happy with the eye decision, but these sorts of things, you go, it's going to look weird if we don't do this, but everything is a discussion, and that's kind of the goal, which is the only change that's necessary in that.
So Sega...
I think this looks terrible.
So Sega is like, yeah, this looks pretty shitty, and they're like, yeah, you know what, man, if we don't do this, it's going to look even weirder. Can you imagine Sonic with one eye? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why do you keep on saying one eye? And it's like... Nah, dude, you don't get it.
Whenever we sit down to do one of these Sonic movie updates, I always feel like I'm going to be professional and run through the news and we'll be good. And then it just evolves into me just being so confused with these choices. First off, I do not understand why they think he has to be realistic. They keep saying, it's the real world, so he has to look realistic. But we have seen countless instances where Sonic was interacting with the real world, but he was fully CG, and it looked fine. I mean, maybe bump up a little bit of the texture so it didn't look just like a flat glossy blue. Maybe give it a little bit of, like a spiky or hair texture. That would be okay. But we've seen... Or
even change the art style, like the new Pokemon movie, the Detective Pikachu, they changed him to this realistic looking doll plushy thing. I'm like, that would have made sense, I guess. You could sell toys with it. But this, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is going to catch on. I don't know if this is going to be a hot-selling merch item. I feel like they really destroyed the design and what made Sonic classic. Even the modern design has, everything that makes Sonic still carries over, right? The skinny legs, the skinny arms, the big gloves. This one doesn't have that.
Right, and I also think it's incredibly lazy because what it reads as is that they didn't want to use the regular design because that would mean that each shot they would have to figure out where the eyes would be placed so it would look correct. And let's be honest, they've done this for many years. Every single Sonic game, the cutscenes are created so that the characters look correct. They don't do a scene where Sonic's standing there and he's looking the other way and you don't see his pupils. They just shift it to adjust it. And we've seen this in animation, we've seen this in Pixar movies, Disney movies. I don't understand why they act like this is impossible, because it is clearly not.
You're actually right. The new, I mean, I don't want to be a dick, but Wreck-It Ralph literally has Sonic the Hedgehog and it works just fine with the modern design.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're saying. I haven't seen the Wreck-It Ralph movie, but people have been telling me that Sonic actually plays a bigger role than a lot of people are led to believe, or at least compared to the first movie.
Right.
So he's kind of like the guy to the internet, which kind of makes sense if you've been on the internet the last 15 years. So, but still, like, they got him to work. If Disney got it already, why are you redesigning it and doing this, like, ugly, very forgettable, in my opinion, look of Sonic? Like, I don't think in 10 years people are going to remember this.
No, and let's talk a little bit about the shoes. So they discussed the shoes in the interview, and they said, we looked at every different variation of what shoes he's worn, and we're trying to pay homage to that, and also make it current and present day in what we think a Sonic of today would wear. Here's a few issues with that. Number one, how many different variations of shoes has Sonic had? Classic, modern, Sonic Adventure 2, Riders, maybe 4?
Yeah.
Second,
Yeah.
he only has one main shoe. It's a red shoe with a stripe and a buckle. It's not that different when you break it down like that for modern or classic. Also, it's saying, what would he wear today? He's wearing those shoes today. We have a racing game coming out next year where he's wearing those shoes. So these shoes aren't like a product of some time. They're just shoes with a fucking stripe on them. Like, what? I don't get it.
So they even said, I mean, when Sonic brand was taken over, right, in 2015, one of the biggest things they said they wanted to do was kind of keep everything in line with the brand, like an image of the brand. Yeah. This seems to be like, hey, all those plans you guys had 3 years ago? Fuck all that shit. That's what this seems like to me. Like some movie execs like, yeah, we heard you, but we're going to do this. This is actually cool, we think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the movie, actually, we were hearing news about this as early as Oh, you know what it was? It was that Sony leak. They were actually pitching this movie to Sony at the time in 2015, and it wasn't until 2016 that a deal was really made public, that it was happening. However, I really feel like this was a decision made during the boom era when they were making a lot of bad decisions,
yeah.
Before they realized, we have to make comics that people love to read and that are in line with the games. We need to bring classic Sonic back. We need to put more effort into our games, so if it looks bad, we delay it. And this is like the redheaded stepchild that they forgot about, and now it's releasing. Oh.
And you want to talk about the tweet you did about the Japanese fans?
Right, yeah. And so I looked at the Japanese Sega post, because they actually shared the Japanese poster, and Japanese fans are not very happy with this. So from what I saw, I love the translations of these. So, full of sadness and anger. How did this happen? Why? And this is my favorite. I think this needs to be a t-shirt. Mr. Sega, are you serious?
Beautiful. So yeah, everywhere around the world, reception for this is negative. Do you think that the studio will learn and actually change the design to more modern aesthetics, or do you think they're all in on this?
I don't think they can change it now. I think they're too far. I mean, it's got a year, and it's one of those movies where they're not going to delay it. I mean, this isn't like Marvel or DC or Star Wars where they're like, if there's a production issue, they can take the hit.
Yeah.
I really feel like they're like, let's just release this piece of crap.
So, my last question is, you've seen the silhouette. What do you think that, like, the silhouette, do you think that design within the silhouette could be acceptable? Like, sure, there's some classic things that are, like, taken out, but do you think, like, the performance could save this movie?
I mean, I've made it pretty clear that I'm not a big fan of them recasting, but at this point, because he looks so different, I'm glad that Roger Craig Smith is not doing the voice. I think that would probably hurt his career, and I feel like the character's going to be very annoying. Looking the way he does and acting like Ben Schwartz, who's just going to be like, oh, hey, like, it's... What do you guys think about this awesome-looking movie? Do you want to see a sequel? Do you want to see maybe a trilogy? Sound off in the comments below. And if you like our crazy thoughts, you can always back us on Patreon. And,
maybe. Listen. Bye.
Bye.